I don't mind when older people do it. I don't mind either way. I just think it's kind of weird that, when people come rolling up the street with a baby carriage, and I always try to scramble to get out of the way, because I'm always like, oh, hey, family with a baby or something. And then they get up to me, and they have like a little shit rat dog in the fucking seat. So many people push around their dogs in baby carriages. Imagine like people from the 60s or 70s or even 80s, seeing all these people. It's sad. A lot of white people too, like without kids, pushing around, dogs in baby carriages. Whatever. I'm having like a fucking... I hate when people on YouTube talk about their channels. I don't like it. It's a waste of everybody's time. That being said, I think one of the few things I do have to offer here in this content mill that is YouTube is authenticity. And trying to be like a real dude. And I'm having trouble. Like, I'm editing 2 different things right now, and it's going slow because I'm just not, I don't know if I'm interested in it. One of them is a series finale review of Peacemaker, that show I talked about that visited the Nazi Rome, of which the creator called the Christians Nazis, which is kind of fucked up. They had a whole thing in the show about that. A couple of the characters were talking, and they were in like a dimension where Germany won World War II. Now, the world was pretty nice. Everything was clean and neat and orderly. People seemed happy, but it was bad because racists run it. It's much better to be in this world of endless migration and decimation of cities and homelessness and violence. This is much better, right? Because at least they're not racist. I'll tell you what, it is. And people like that make more racism every day. I used to be I was almost liberal like 10 years ago. Man, I could tell you some stories. But yeah, so I'm editing this shit, and I'm just like, do people care about this? I don't know. Like, a couple of years ago when I was doing this, and I had like a dozen views a video, I just kind of did what I wanted and didn't think about it. Now that I have, I get that many in the first hour, I mean, still not doing like big numbers, but I'm doing at least double or triple what I used to do. I kind of get worried, like, am I wasting people's time? Is this fucking stupid? I have this like fear of wasting people's time. I don't want someone to come across my shit and go, what the fuck is this? And then be watching it for a few minutes and go, what the fuck is this? I have a fear of wasting people's time. Not for me. I don't really care, obviously, about like a YouTube career. If you look at my channel and how I've run it in the past couple of years, you can see that that's not a concern for me. Otherwise, I wouldn't still be doing this now, But, there has to be a consideration for the people that do give me the time, I don't know. So I've been, like, trying to do a couple of videos editing. I didn't get one out yesterday. And I usually try to get one out every day. But I just don't know. I'm just like, there's more important things to talk about. I was just thinking about the Mandela effect and something that was related to that. The Bible changes in the Lord's Prayer. I do one every morning with Nia before we split up to go our separate ways, And I use the old version where forgive us our trespasses version, not this new please Goyim don't kill us version about the deaditors. I don't know what the fuck that is. Nia had another part to it that I didn't grow up using For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory is yours to... How you doing, man? There was this whole section that I never knew growing up that was kind of new to me, that she had. And it just got me thinking about the whole Mandela effect and how so many things have changed because of it. Weird stuff, like vinyl records. Vinyl records. Now, in current reality, and I know this is a small thing, but it's just to, you know, to highlight how this is still all the time affecting me. Like I was noticing, looking at like music kind of documentaries and stuff about records, how this colored vinyl thing has always been around. Now that's horseshit. I've been buying records my whole life. When the vinyl resurgence happened in the 2010s, early part of the century, maybe at the earliest, that's when colored vinyl started popping up. I remember seeing it and being like, oh, that's kind of cool. That's just a way to add value, because now that they got this vinyl craze going on, and they're now charging $30, $40 for records you get at a secondhand shop for a couple bucks previously. It's kind of cool that they give it different colored vinyl, you know? Turns out, though, that was always around. I'm looking at this stuff about CCR, and they released their first album on green vinyl. It's like, no, there was no fucking green vinyl. You know, you can find this among all kinds of bands, how they talk about their discographies in different colored vinyl. I'm telling you, I was here. There wasn't different colored vinyl. There was only black. The vinyl color started in the 2000s. To me, I mean, there's probably people here that are like, no, I remember buying fucking Black Sabbath, the first album, on purple vinyl. It's like, all right, whatever, you know. But I mean, that's minor, you know. There are body changes here that are fucking mind-blowing. I remember me and Craig around the same time came across the information about our rib cage. Growing up and having a lot of skeleton figures as a kid, the rib cage used to be like, it looked like literally a cage. It was from the middle of your abdomen up to like where your neck is, and it protruded in the front. That was your rib cage. It was protecting your heart and shit. Now we have this cage that wraps around our whole body. And to some of you this might be, oh, it's always been that way, but to me this is fucking mind-blowing. And when you look at the skeletons, it looks like H.C. Grieger or some shit. Like it goes around the whole back of your body. And they used to have a thing in the, you know, whatever dimension timeline ad came from, called the kidney punch. It was in boxing, where you could, you know, hit someone and it was right where the kidneys were. Well, now the kidneys have moved. And even if you could punch the area they're now in, which is different, they're guarded by this alien rib cage that goes around your whole body. So you can't have anything like a kidney punch. The skull used to be, you know, and there's still kind of moves I see of this too, and like, you know, action movies or something, and all those, in a lot of old karate movies, they would go through the eyes to kill someone. They would jam something in their eyeball, and it would go into their brain, you know? And you can't do that anymore because we have a bone behind our eyeball. And the bone, and that bone wall has a little hole in it like you would have if you were like setting up the stereo in your living room on an organizer piece of furniture. They leave little holes for you to run the fucking cables through. Well, there's like a little hole in this back wall for your optic nerve to go through to your brain. That was never there. Not where I'm from. We never had that. And all these other changes to your skull, the sort of ridge line over our eyes, the bump on the back of our head, this stuff just wasn't there. Yeah, me and Craig kind of came across the rib cage thing at the same time, and we would go into an elevator together and hurl each other against the walls. I wouldn't hurl him, he wouldn't. We'd hurl ourselves against the walls and go, look, I'm protected. It doesn't hurt. Look. Because before you'd throw yourself against the wall and, you know, your midsection would feel it. But now we got this like fucking cage. that protects us. And then they found that fucking organ, the one that's like under our stomach. It's now considered like the biggest organ in the body. I forget what it's called, but I guess it's always been there and they didn't notice it before. I don't know, man. People were taking apart like you know, doing bodies, taking apart the human body for like centuries. I mean, there are some Frankenstein type characters that had everything taken out and labeled and marked, and you don't just be like, oopsie, we found a new organ. Yeah, what the fuck is that? It's pretty crazy, and I don't have no, and I'm no closer to having any answers for that than I was when I came across the whole concept of Mandela effect, which was, I don't know, when did it first pop up to me? 2012 or 2013? Something like that. And in classic fashion, for me, it started with the Berenstein Bears thing. Some people don't like being filmed. That's alright, it's a fucking tourist area. Eat shit, fucker. But well, I think it's me too, like the kind of, you know, kind of guy I am. There's a lot more stuff like that that's kind of important, and I don't know, I don't have any answer for that stuff still. I don't know, I just feel like it's more important to talk about than fucking cape shit, doy slop TV. Alright, I gotta kind of watch my fucking, I gotta put my head on a swivel here. I'll be back. So walk by a couple little Asian girls, cute, doing live streams, both of them. I bet they don't get yelled at or stared at or looked at. Why is it always me? But yeah, the fucking Mandela effect, man. You know, and like I said before we were interrupted by Ross, I'm no closer to figuring that shit out than when I first discovered it with everybody else. Well, not with everybody else, but a lot of people discovered it at the same time in 2012 or 13, whatever the fuck it was. No closer. I mean, CERN, yeah. But who knows what really goes on there? I mean, that could just be a whole fucking false flag in itself. They want us to think they're doing something. There's a lot of them. Oh, they're still at war with the Kangs. What does that say? Cops only go after locals. Well, they're right about that. Yeah, I'll give them that. And the weird thing is, it makes me think that why would a Kang write that? It's not locals doing all this, is it? Most of the locals are gone, to be honest with you. I mean, they threw them off here during COVID and made them go to fucking Las Vegas. But there are some left. It's rare. You see way more Africans than you do see Pacific Islanders. You know, like 3-1. I can't tell you the last time I saw a couple of Samoan guys walking around. They're just not around anymore. They're placing with those dudes, you know, back there. It's what happened. So we never had a graffiti problem until after COVID, right? Never had a graffiti problem. Ever. There's great graffiti artists on the island, or there were. They're probably fucking gone too. I did a couple of videos on them. I when they were painting a mural over here, I did one a couple of years ago. I did a couple of videos on everything. Who gives a shit? The point is, we never really had one. And I've been following this battle with the town over here. This has like been a front line for the graffiti battle, this area here. They all got closed down years ago. This used to be like the degenerate hangout. I used to go down here with my friends. It was all like clubs, and it was strip clubs and peep show fucking places, and it was just a good place to buy drugs if that's what you're into. Yeah, this whole corner here, this whole area here. And then there was supposedly a shooting there, or a shooting was reported. At first, I was like, wow, that's crazy. Some guy got out of a car in a raincoat and opened fire on a crowd of people at like 3 in the morning on like a Saturday or something. Never caught him. Using El Camino. Well, that, I shouldn't, you know, make a big deal about that because they don't catch anybody here. No one gets caught for anything here. Which is strange because it is an island, you know. You would think maybe, but no, never. But so I've been kind of chronicling this situation here. Did we not go? Did I not get the fucking bite? Oh god. All right. What happened here? Why didn't we get the light? I gotta keep moving and make friends, you know. Let me see. God, Julia. Alright, you can't, the thing about this place, I know it sounds crazy, but I say it all the time, you can't stay in any one spot for any length of time, because once you stop moving your feet, just like being in a cab, the nonsense meter pops up. And the longer you stay in one place, the more attention you're going to attract, and eventually, I don't know why that is, maybe it's just me, but unless I keep moving, you know what? What the fuck is going on here? What is this? What kind of fucking joke is this? I'm just going to start walking in front of cars, so I may die here, but I'm not fucking doing that, whatever the fuck this is. You see how long I've been here. Why am I torturing you? Why? I'm just down. So you can. It's fucking nuts. I don't trust these coconut ends. Like they should fucking change now. I'm sorry to do this to you, but you see how long I've been here. What in the fuck is going on? I'm just like, you can't. This goes back to the infrastructure thing. Civilizations, right? Only certain people are good at running competent civilizations. Oh, fuck, there we go. They don't have big shit like this. Like, the settings on this might have been changed for like one of those fucking fucking jamborees that they have every week. And sometimes they change the settings on these lights so that the wait is longer for traffic, and then they just, unless the smart guy is in, they don't know how to fix them. Or they call the mainland and have some fucking white dude show up and do it. Yeah, so this thing here has been a battleground for the graffiti wars. And what happens is, what I imagine were Kangs, because it only started after COVID, would come, and it was Kang graffiti, right? It was always kind of like crowns, misspelled words. I'm the king of the street. No, I'm the king. Like that kind of bullshit. I've lived in fucking depressed areas, so I kind of know what Kang scrawl looks like. So then the town would come along and paint it over. This goes on back and forth. The town Kangs, the town Kangs. But this, cops only go after the locals. The local would write that, and that's true. They do only go after the locals. Certain locals, though. I mean, you know, that's true to a point. A local, to me, is someone that is usually a Pacific Islander of descent whose home this still is. It's the Kingdom of Hawaii. It's an occupied territory. Nothing's been ratified here. They call it the 50th state and stuff, but it's not, you know. It's not really. But they gave people that still live here just enough stuff so that they do what they want. Like they got, this has been happening since the first ships encountered Hawaii. They get people who are prominent among their own, and they give them more fucking ship nails than everybody else to keep the others in line. And it works. Except nowadays it's cash instead of ship nails, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing. And they constantly sell their own people out. It's fucking mortifying. I've never seen anything like it. Like they give them a couple of nice shirts and a gated fucking house to live in, and they'll fucking hurl their own people off the island, throw them into the ocean if they had to. It's fucked up. But anyway, yeah, there's less and less like locals, like that, who I would normally call locals. There's not a lot of Pacific Islanders get to heave-ho, man. You know, they're not here anymore. During COVID, The state refused to hand out emergency funds, even though the feds gave it to them. Right? The feds paid them. They had all the money from the feds. They just didn't want to hand it out, and they kept making excuses. It took the media. I mean, it was a big thing when it happened, but now people forgot about it, and they don't know what I'm talking about if I bring it up. But which is perfect, like NPC system tools. They got the download that said, don't, this didn't happen, or don't question that, and then that's it. That's, you know, that's the sad reality we live in when most of the people around you are fucking robots that just get new software updates, and one of the software updates said, this never happened. And now when you bring it up, they act like you're some fucking madman. But yeah, the state withheld federal COVID funds from the people that lived here. And people had no money. And because of that, they had to move. I never got all my money, actually. And there's a lot more to that story. I've gone over it so many times here. But yeah, they emptied out, especially Waikiki. This place was fucking empty. These buildings down here were fucking empty. Houses were empty. Apartments were empty. And I remember just going around with my friends and being like, wow, we're going to be able to rent these places for like pennies on the dollar. Because who the fuck's going to move in here? How many people on the mainland, all right, are going to go, hey, let's move to Hawaii, to replace all the people that they kicked out? Mostly locals, mostly Pacific Islanders. They're the people hit hardest by it because they're the people that had the least amount of money. Because this was always their home. They grew up here. It became a tourist destination around them. You know, so they weren't in a position to wait out the 8 months to a year of no money that the state was withholding from them, with excuse after excuse. We need people to help us hand it out. Now we need a bigger place to put the people that we hired in. Now the place that we hired in isn't big enough for people. Yeah, it just went one excuse after another. People started getting angry and desperate. They started looking for them to where the people were counting this stuff. So they started having to put guards out in front of the places that were rumored to be the places where they were counting the money. No other state had this problem, by the way. You know, they have your address, they have your name, of course. Just mail you a check. It wasn't happening here. Or not, even put it in your account, direct deposit. It wasn't happening here. They're squeezing people off the island. So they squeeze everybody off the island. This place was decimated. And then, while lockdowns were still in effect, they started bringing in Haitians and Somalians and Africans and all the black people you see here now, which is walking around the street, even looking at my films, it looks like maybe it's like half the population. And the thing is, prior to COVID, we had none. And when I say none, I mean less than 10. You know, I've gone over them before, who these individuals were in the neighborhood, in this immediate area. We just didn't have them because traditionally, as they've always taught us, black people are the hardest hit by economic circumstances. You know, they need federal services all the time. They can't do anything on their own. You know, that's what the liberals will tell you. We have to help these people. They're helpless. And they need money, and they can't produce money on all this stuff, right? So they don't have money. They're always perpetually broke. But then I didn't think they were going to be moving here. But the federal government, in conjunction with the CIA, the WEF, and in some countries, Mossad, this happened in every Western state, they moved a shit ton of dangerous jungle people here. And a lot of blacks from the mainland, too, you know. They just brought all black people here to fill in all those places. All those places we're looking at going, wow, we're gonna get cheap rent at these places because who's gonna move here to Hawaii now? All these people moved off, priced out. It's real expensive to move here. It costs a lot of money. You gotta have money to move here. Unless the government is footing your bill. In this case they were, and they brought in shit tons of people. I used to see I could go on and on about this, okay. I covered it, every step of this military operation, because that's exactly what it was. I covered the whole thing as it happened. in disbelief the whole time. I was joking a couple weeks ago about I used to make videos where I would count new residents. You could tell because they stick out because they don't, you know, they're color coded. And we never used to have them here, so it's like, oh wow, dude. I'd count them. The video would be over and be like, oh my God, I counted 14 of them. What the hell's going on here? I couldn't count now because it's a significant amount of the population. I don't know, if I had to guess off the top of my head, possibly a third. You know, so all these people came in. They put them on SSDI. And they all live in these places for free. I was thinking we were going to get, like, you know, a nice place cheap. Some of these fucking houses they live in are real nice. But, and some hotels are hosting them too. The hotel over by me is work where every day for a couple of years I see the same guys sitting up front. You know, steer clear from their side of the street because they look like they, you know, they don't look very choosy about who they boom boom. And when they want a boom boom, they got a boom boom. They come from the jungle. I don't know anything different. Fucking government's on their side. You're not going to get in trouble for doing anything. So, yeah, you just gotta stay away. You just gotta get your walking patterns down. There's nothing you can do. Like, I joke sometimes about, like, moving them all through Atlanta or something, or Madagascar. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. The only thing you can do is just avoid. Stay away. Pray to God. Watch your family. And that's it. All you can do is avoid. Avoid. Avoid, avoid. There is no answer. You gotta look to God. You know, God's gonna take care of his people. And we are his people. And he's not gonna let the enemy's people hurt us. If he can. Sometimes, you know, things happen, but you always get God on your side. That's the one thing that's good. It's like, you know, like the hotel guys. I know God's on my side, not theirs. Because I'm of God, they're not. That's a whole nother video, though. And that's, I don't even know how to approach that on YouTube. And still keep my channel. But I'm going to figure it out someday. I'm going to talk about it. Till then, thanks for dropping in. I'm going to go continue my crisis of what I'm putting on my channel. Open. Don't blame the teacher. Blame the school.